Today, how to get in shape in the office or on the road. My personal trainer, Mark Hunter, is here to show you how. If you have 15 minutes a day, we'll get you a new body. Great to have you here today, Mark.
Greg, good to see you as always.
Now, I've been warning you all week. Today's my day to get back, to get it even. So he's been kicking my butt for the past few weeks now that I've been training with him, but I told him today is payback time.
I was a little afraid of that.
He isn't quite sure what I've got planned. But well, first we'll show, we've got you here in, you did a photo shoot recently. This is you here at the right. I don't know if we could get a close up on that.
Head is above everybody else.
So you've been doing some fitness modeling?
A little bit, a little bit.
What have you got? You got the six-pack here?
Yeah, it might be 6.5.
6.5?
In there.
Okay. But you just tore your rotator cuff, right?
I did about 5 weeks ago, so I'm still recovering.
Still recovering. So how's that affected your workouts? You're kind of...
pretty much just, I really just went to cardio and trained legs, and I just left off upper body, just easy like band rotation work, stuff like that, just resistance training, so no weights really.
And of course you're basically in the gym about all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So, which helps, and I think you said you eat 3,000 calories a day because of all the energy you burn with all the training.
Probably more than that, yeah.
More?
Yeah, I'm up there.
Well, one of the reasons that I want to train with you is that you're tall. In fact, when you train at Equinox in Santa Monica, which is the gym I belong to, and I told them I wanted a tall trainer because, as you've seen, I have a tendency on certain exercises, and you know what I said the other day about those squats, but to bend my back.
Right.
But I like the fact, I was impressed that you always have like perfect form for your back, and I've been trying to get that because there's a tendency to bend forward.
There's a little story behind that.
Yeah, and that's the reason I was mentioning it.
Yeah, I was a power lifter in high school, and I had an Olympic coach actually train me. And he used to walk around with a broomstick without the broom on the end and the whisk on that. And when I had incorrect form, he would pop me with it.
But that's
so
why
very
you picked
quickly,
up that
yes,
stick the other
that's
day.
why I beat you with a stick. Okay. That's correct.
So that's how he got you in. But you had back problems though. That's
I did.
Why I was mentioning that, right?
When I was 7, 8, 9 years old, I had a really bad sway back. And my dad had me start with a trainer at 9 years old. So when my friends would go out and
now, what do you mean, like
sway back is when your back actually curves in. So
it's a bit, what I mean? It's not the spine like this. It's
no, that's
this
scoliosis.
Way, not scoliosis. Okay,
it can be corrected by tightening and strengthening muscles, basically your core muscles. So what he did was he put me with the trainer at an early age to solve the problem, and I hated him and I fought him for years. And then when high school rolled around, I was pretty much the strongest kid in high school, so I was thanking him at that point.
Now, is that just the way you were born, or is it something from like lack of exercise when you were younger? I mean, what causes something like that?
It's more of just something you're born with, and
okay.
just as a kid, you don't just run around doing sit-ups. And I just had a weak core, and I was tall, and I grew really quick, and it just maybe caused me to have a sway back.
Because I just find it's interesting when people, for instance, I have to admit I love when I have the trainers on and they tell me they used to be like fat little kids, and they used to be in great shape, and that there's hope for anybody. So when you hear that somebody's had some kind of an issue like that, I mean, not that I wish that on you, but the fact that you were able to overcome it, and I think that's good to know. And that now that you're 6'4".
Yeah.
How much do you weigh?
Fluctuating between 205 and 210. It's a healthy weight for me from what I found.
Okay, and what's your body fat?
It fluctuates between 3 and 7%.
Okay. Yeah. But your whole thing is, though, you say that really it does not take as much time as people think to get in shape.
It takes more dedication than time.
Dedication.
Yeah, what I tell people is you can get a good workout in 20 to 30 minutes. You don't have to go to the gym for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The whole problem is going to the gym takes a lot of time. And so what I was telling, what I kind of wanted to focus on today was talk about what you can do in the office, what you can do in your home, what you can do in a hotel room. With just a small space, you can get a lot done. And it's not necessarily that's going to give you the body that you want and hope for, but it's going to get you in good shape.
By the way, am I dedicated?
You're pretty dedicated.
Pretty dedicated.
Yeah, except for every now and then you show up 5 minutes late. That's why I make you do sprints.
Oh, okay. We won't talk about my schedule issues, but so before we start the actual workout and demonstrate some of the moves and stuff, are there any general tips you have for people that?
The main thing I say when people come in to work out, I say get a good 5-minute warm up, whether that's doing a light, a walk, a run, getting on the elliptical, the stair climber, doing something just to get the blood pumping.
It's not 5 minutes; it's always 10 minutes. What are you talking about?
Well,
it's always a 10-minute workout.
That's because you're late. If you would show up on time, it'd be 5 minutes.
And then you crank up that damn treadmill, so that I'm like, I love it. I'm falling off the treadmill, and he's looking at me like, "How are you? How are you doing?" And I'm like running my ass off and trying not to fall off the treadmill. And he's wondering how I'm doing. I can't even talk. I look at you with a blank. I always tell him when I look at you with a blank look, like, huh? That means it's working.
Yeah, that's actually called the talk test. And when you can't answer me, I know you're working hard.
When I can't talk, you know that something is wrong. Okay.
That's correct. That's correct. Another thing I say is if people haven't worked out before, I tell them start with a trainer, and that's not just because we're out there to make money. We're out there to make money, of course, but people who have never worked out before, they don't have correct form. That's how they end up in a physical therapist's office. That's how they hurt themselves. That's when people say, oh, free weight squats, things like that are bad for you. They're not bad for you. They're some of the best exercises in the world when they're done right. When they're done wrong, they're the worst exercises because you hurt yourself. So.
Yeah, and I always, as I tell you, I always feel that without a trainer, I don't push myself.
Of course.
As soon as the going gets tough, which is the reason I mumble under my breath to you.
What was that, Greg? What did you
I have
mumble?
these little four-letter words that I use sometimes when the burn is kicking in. And but when I'm training myself or working out by myself, I just, what do? You end up stopping.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you'll never push yourself as hard as somebody else will. Especially because we have a financial interest in your success.
That's right. Well, same when I'm paying too. Maybe that's one reason I'm dedicated. When you pay, that you're.
This is true. This is true. You have to show up and you have to do it. So.
Well, we'll be right back with Mark Hunter, and when we come back, he will show you how you can get in shape in the office or on the road, or the hotel room, in 15 minutes a day. We'll be right back.
Excellent.
We're back with my personal trainer, Mark Hunter, today telling you how you can get in shape in 15 minutes a day if you're at the office or on the road or wherever the hell you are. Joining us now is Jake Sawyer. Great to have you here today, Jake.
Thank you.
Personal trainer here in Palm Springs. I just want to say, by the way, did you notice I'm like the palest white guy in the room here? I think I need to, this might not have been the right wardrobe choice today, or else I need a little something on the arms. But okay, so what have you got for us, Mark?
Well, today we're going to start with just some basic exercises. Most of the times I deal with clients who the excuse is I don't have time to work out. So this is kind of an idea to help people get more creative in the gym, at the office,
so
in
there's
their basement,
always time.
Wherever the hell they are, as Gregory Mantell puts it. So Jake is going to demonstrate a couple things for us, and then
he just thought I didn't know how to do it right, so we had to bring in outside help, but that's okay.
So here we are. We're going to start with just basically a couple of ideas in the office. Jake, have a seat for me right here. One thing to replace the office chair, a lot of times people sit in an office all day, they hunch over, they play with the mouse on the keyboard, they start to get a lot of stiffness in the neck and the shoulders. The stability ball basically offers an alternative to an office chair. So you can sit here, it makes you keep your core tight, so you can replace your office chair with this. When you want to take a little break, you can lean back and just kind of stretch your back for me, Jake.
I love it, but do people actually do that? Do you have people who use the ball for an office chair?
Yes, people actually, because when they want to see results, they go to whatever measure they need to go to do it. So one thing is you can do when you take a little break after, I recommend every 30 minutes, take a break from your computer. Lay back on the ball, stretch your back. You can go back and you can do...
Close your office door.
Close your office door and have a good time.
What the hell is going on? Okay.
Yes, you can do crunches, things like that on the ball. Main thing is it's going to offer stability for your core, and that's the main thing. And you can also get a different size ball for your, if you're tall, obviously you're going to need a bigger ball. A smaller person needs a smaller ball. So that's one of the things. Hop up for me, Jake. We're going to bring back in another office chair. If you don't want to have people asking you why you sit on a ball all day, you can leave your office chair. Some people are a little more self-conscious about things, and you can do a couple things. So every 30 minutes, take a break, and Jake, I'm just going to have you come forward on the chair and do some dips, tricep dips. So you can do this. Just take 5 minutes, take a little break, get the blood flowing, go back to work. You can do things like that. Depending on whether you work in an office or a cubicle, depends on how,
Again,
how much
you might get a few funny looks, but but if you get everybody on the same page, maybe you can. And I suppose that if you could do it one-handed, you could type a little bit and.
This is true.
I don't know if
I recommend take a break completely.
Take a break.
Take a break.
Okay.
I mean, if you work hard, you're gonna be more productive taking a break every 30 minutes, doing an exercise for 5 minutes, and going back to work. You'll feel better. You don't necessarily have to break a big sweat and get the sweaty pits and stuff. You do a little bit, you get the blood flowing, you go back to work. And that's the main thing that I want to kind of get across to people, is you don't have to go to a gym to do something. You can do something right where you are, right where you're sitting.
When we were talking about this show beforehand, you also told me, you said some exercise where you would take off your shirt and tie. And I thought, again, I don't know what kind of office he works in, but I'm just trying to imagine that.
I don't work in any office, and this is my suit and tie, so.
Okay.
You know. So hop up for me, Jake. Now, to get a little more into an actual workout than just getting the blood flowing, we're going to do something that you can put anywhere. This is a kettlebell. And Greg, you want to just hold that for a second? I know you're somewhat experienced with them.
Yes.
But you can kind of tell everybody how heavy it is, and it's a little bit
At least you
awkward.
didn't bring that little baby one that we always joke about. But,
That's the
no, wait, I'm actually going to do it. Is this the one with the swing or the squat?
So we're going to start off with a swing.
Do
Do you want to demonstrate the swing?
I want this on tape? Okay. Yes.
Why don't you demonstrate? This is basically a full body workout. We're going to do something called a kettlebell swing. Basically what he's going to do is he's going to get in a squat position, taking your hips back a little bit so you have a tight back, chest is out. So the main thing you want to keep in mind is your butt's out and your chest is out.
Okay.
And you're gently going to start swinging the weight back and forth.
You may want to move, Jake.
Step back. Greg's got the kettlebell.
No, wait, I forget. I come up with this, though, right?
Yeah, you're going to come up, and as you come up,
out of the squat
your hips
position?
are going to go forward. And
Forward.
back
That's
down.
right. Okay.
Don't be scared. And back down.
Okay.
Good.
I'm afraid this is going to end up on the internet.
So, so this is basically a power exercise, and Greg would normally take it about 10 times faster than that. So as he squats up, his hips are moving the weight forward, swinging back and forth. What we do is we do 20 repetitions, and we rest for 20 seconds. We go back up for 20 repetitions and rest for 20 seconds.
And then there's a point where you're saying, move your hips forward and move them back, and squat down and keep your chest up.
There's a few cues that go involved, but once you have it, you have it. And the main thing is keeping your back tight so you don't hurt yourself.
We'll have you show it too.
And Jake's going to
Wait,
demonstrate the swing in kind of a full throttle move here.
So if anybody kills himself at home, it's not my fault for watching me do it.
And basically in 4 minutes, you can get a very, very good workout.
Oh, so he's holding it out more. Is that what I should be doing? Not
He's
down,
holding
it's
it out, but he's also driving it up with more force.
The harder you pop your hips, the further and the higher the bell's going to go.
Exactly. So the more power you put behind it, the higher it's going to go up. And this is actually a little light for Jake.
Oh, hey.
I'm not saying anything.
Technically, he would use something about 5 to 6 times heavier.
How much is that?
This is actually a 12 kilogram.
12. So you do 16 with that?
Yeah. And again, in the office, this is probably going to look familiar more in the office than in the gym, but one thing I recommend is a briefcase. You can do a number of things with it. We're going to do just basically some squats. So I want you to hold that up in front of you, and you're going to squat down for front squats.
Okay.
And just like that. And the main thing with the squat is you want to keep your back tight.
Right.
If you focus on keeping your chest out and driving your hips back and putting the weight on your heels, it's basically perfect form. So I would recommend you get a trainer, learn how to do a squat before you take it up in your office.
And you know what I think of those squats.
Yeah.
I have a problem with bending my back all the time. Yeah. So I have a few words I can't say on TV that I use to describe those squats, but.
And another thing, just to kind of work the upper body a little bit, we're going to do some upright rows, which is basically just bringing the weight up here. So you can, put your laptop in it, put your files in it, whatever you need to make the weight heavier, depending on how strong you are. But these are just things you can do to kind of take a little break from your office. And that's the main thing, is to get away from the computer, get away from your desk, turn the phone off, and just do this for 5 to 10 minutes and go back to work.
I visited an office the other day where actually I was very impressed. They were in kind of a bigger room and more of it, well, not exactly cubicles, but a bigger open space. And they all had, I don't think, they weren't doing the thing, they were doing more like, I don't know, Pilates or something with a ball in the room. But as a company, they had organized time at lunch to do that. So I think there are companies that would, even in an organized way, so you don't have to explain, what you're doing in the office or something.
There are a few companies out there that are promoting fitness within the workplace. There's actually things where people are getting on treadmills and doing office work, talking on the phone. It's very
Oh no, not cell phones on the
population.
tread phone though.
Yeah, but it's in
too
the
many
office,
cell phones
so
everywhere.
At least they're moving towards that. They're developing office furniture to be better for the body and the movements of how we move, the biomechanics of us. Okay. Next thing, we're going to have Jake get on the floor, and we're going to do basically a resisted push-up. So if push-ups are hard enough for you to start with, Greg, you might just do regular push-ups. We'll put the resisted.
I am going to get you.
So Jake's going to go in push-up position. This is going to go on his back, and he's going to hold the band as he needs to, on the floor, and basically what that's going to do is it's going to provide some resistance on his back, so as he goes down and pushes up, it's going to be harder on him. So you can pull the band however you need it. This is actually a thicker band. You can go with a lighter band or a heavier band if you see fit. Greg, how we doing over there with those push-ups? Just keep going.
Usually you put that kettlebell on my back or something, whatever it is.
Well, that was when I just stand on Greg's back, but we'll
he
leave that out
does
for
step
now.
on me when we work out, by the way.
And another
He
thing
only
you can-
weighs 200 pounds.
Yeah, 205. Another thing you can do is take one foot up as you're doing a push-up, just to challenge yourself a little more. So the more advanced you are, the more you can do. So yeah, we'll hop up here.
God, this is like yesterday.
Yeah, well, a little easier than yesterday. Just to be a little more creative, one thing that's always around is water bottles.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we're going to let Jake hold both of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not to drink.
Drinking.
You can take a little break in between, but you can get an appropriate water bottle for what you need. This is actually
I was
a
going
little,
to drink it, but okay.
Well, you can drink it when he's done. How's
During the
that? And we're just going to take it to a curl and a press. And that's basically, you know, if you're a pretty strong guy, you can take gallon jugs and do this. 3 sets of 20, set them down, go back to work. You know, this is.
I have a big water cooler outside my office with those big Arrowhead containers, so
More my style.
So maybe we should get the 5-gallon jug and just one-handed press and do that.
I'll start with these.
Yeah. So you can have a sip. Greg.
Okay,
Greg has been
thanks.
working out
That's
hard.
all
Let's give him a
really
round of applause.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
And next, we're just going to do some basic lateral raises and things with the bungee. So you can, again, you can get different types of bungees. This is actually a really light one. We're just going to use this for today. And we're going to take it, you stand on the band, and we're going to take it to just a lateral raise.
I'll try that. Give me one.
Yeah. You want, Greg, I'm going to give you the heavier one.
The heavier one.
You're in
Okay.
the,
That's right.
you're rehydrated, you're ready to go.
Okay.
So there's a
am I
number of
doing?
different exercises you can do with this. There's a lateral raise, there's a frontal raise. You can take it into a shoulder press, so straight up over your shoulders. Straight shoulder press. Good, Greg. Come on, Greg. All the way up.
There you go.
There you
yeah.
go.
Okay. Is that good?
Good. You can also take your foot forward and do a lunge. So hold the weight up next to your shoulders. Hold the band up. Good.
Oh.
This
See,
is
he
actually called
already knows this stuff, doesn't he? I think this is not fair.
There's not much cueing that goes
Not my first
involved.
time.
The main thing you want to do
He's a professional. I'm just kind of.
is take your feet into a split stance. And if you're unstable, take your feet a little wider. If you want to challenge yourself a little more, take them closer together. And you want to keep your back tight, your core tight, and you're just going to lower your torso straight up and straight down is the correct form for a lunge.
By the way, just so you know, I'm probably more representative of the people at home than he is.
Okay, Greg.
Because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway.
Let's do a split squat, Greg.
Okay.
So go into split stance.
Okay. You can keep doing it.
Take
That
the
helps
band
me
up
much.
next to your shoulders.
Okay.
Okay, and you're going to lower your torso straight up and straight down.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
So, but keeping the back vertical or whatever you always tell me.
Keeping the back vertical. You want to make sure that your core is tight through these exercises. Any type of full body movement where you're doing a squat
And-
or a lunge.
Okay,
you
I
wanna
don't. Do I have the right grip? Because it's in, right, or out?
It's like that. You can bring it up a little.
Okay.
Yeah. That's actually a heavier band, so it's a little harder.
I knew there was an explanation.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, the thicker the band, obviously, the harder it is. So again, resistance training, like for my injury, a rotator cuff is a great thing to do. Another thing, if you have shoulder injuries or stuff like that, just kind of give me some resistance. So I would do basically an external rotation here to strengthen the rotator cuff. I can do high pulls, things like that.
How's that coming along, by the way?
It's tedious when you injure yourself in the shoulder because it's such a mobile joint. It takes a while to heal, and a rotator cuff is, can take anywhere from 6 weeks to a year. I mean, just depending on how bad the tear was, if full tear or not. So, yes.
Well, get up off that couch, get off your butt. We'll be back in a minute with Mark Hunter and Jake Sawyer, and we will show you how to get in shape in 15 minutes a day. We'll be right back. We are back with Mark Hunter and Jake Sawyer today, telling you how to get in shape in 15 minutes a day on the road or at the office. So get up off your butt right now. Okay, what are you guys got for us now?
Well, we're going to talk a little about traveling and what to do when you're on the road, what to do when you're in a hotel room or on an airline. You know.
I personally find that very frustrating because if you have a routine, you have the trainer, then you go out of town, especially Europe, and that's a whole other subject where the gyms suck. I'm sorry, I love Europe, but the gyms, they're never open, they're small, they're tiny, you can't find one. So what do? You know, even the hotels, even a lot of the nice hotels really have pretty lousy, maybe they're getting better, but a lot of the, so what do? You're on the road and there goes your routine.
Yeah, they're getting better, but you know, a lot of times we get a little lazy and we don't want to leave the hotel room for something, or we don't have the time and we're doing something else. So again, you can go through basic movements, just stuff I showed you with the office stuff. You can do all those in a hotel room.
Okay.
The main thing I want to get across is people can be creative with workout. You can take anything that weighs anything and curl it, and that can be your workout. And you can do that for a certain amount of time and get a good cardiovascular and strength training workout with it.
Okay.
A couple of ideas that I've used, and this might be kind of crazy for some people, but trust me, it works. Squats, if you can do squats on the floor and that's easy for you, we're going to take it up on the bed and we're going to do some bed squats. So what you want to do is you want to stay on top of the bed and just do a basic squat. So yeah, basically what that does is it changes up the base of support. So you're on an uneven surface, it's soft.
Kind of like using that piece of wood that we use sometimes.
Yes,
where you're
like
the
a rocker
balance
board or
board
stability
or whatever it is,
board. It makes it more challenging. Basically it recruits more muscle fibers, so it makes it more challenging here. You push harder with the legs. Again, you can do squats, take it down into push-ups. You can do one-arm push-ups. If you have any, they have water weights and things like that.
By the way, should I say this? But how did you tear your rotator cuff?
One-arm push-ups. That's a whole other story. I actually ended it training with heavier weights, and I shouldn't have been doing it. But we like to challenge ourselves as trainers, and it happens. So part of training is you injure yourself. Your body is not. It's pretty resilient.
So part of training is injuring yourself?
Well, eventually, find an athlete who hasn't been injured at some point is what I'm trying to say.
It does happen.
Yeah. We like to push our bodies to the extreme, and we like to see what we can do with it.
So you're willing to take a little bit of injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little risk.
Little risk.
Great reward.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, we can go into squats. Push-ups. If push-ups are too easy, again, we go to the one-arm push-up. Push-ups are too hard. You can go against the bathroom counter. You can use that. You can use the bathtub side. Anything to basically change the incline of your push-up to make it easier or harder.
So this chair, you could use a chair?
You could use a chair. Jake?
Sure.
So you could turn a chair around and you could do a couple of different things. You could grab the handles. You could grab actually the seat of the chair. Again, when you're doing a push-up, the closer your hands are together, the more triceps you're working.
Right.
The further apart, the more chest you're working. So you would just basically push against the chair. And this is basically a tricep exercise because the chair is kind of narrow. So if you wanted to take it a little wider, you could actually use the side of the bed. Again, the bed can be used for a lot of things. It's not just for sex.
But that is a good workout.
Yes,
and
but
it shoots very good workout.
That's another excellent cardiovascular workout. Is you know, if you're able and capable of having sex, it's a very good workout. You burn a lot of calories through that. So that's actually another way to go. And
This show is going downhill fast, I can tell. I don't think we're going to have a demonstration about anything else on that subject today.
We're not going to do that today, but you know, maybe
he did tell me he was making a DVD, but that's another story.
Told me we're going to keep that on the down low, Greg. So again, that's another one. So we have the legs covered, the chest covered. When I travel, I take the bungees with me. So again, you can take a bungee cord. There's actually a little device you can hook to the end of the bungee and hook it to the door. So you can do things like a row. So Greg, why don't you just hold the end of that?
Hold, okay.
Don't let Jake pull you over now.
Just try.
So basically what it's going to do is just a basic row, and he's just going to be working the upper part of the back here. And he's just pulling right by his chest, sticking his chest out, keeping his back tight. One thing to keep in mind is to squeeze your shoulder blades together.
Yeah, can you turn so we can see that, because he's always telling me to pull the closer to that camera, please. I think. Can we get a shot of his back so that we can see? Can you face that camera?
Sure.
I don't know if you can, and then pull back so that yeah, because you're always saying.
You can stick the bungee on anything. You can hook it to a doorknob. You can, if you don't have the device, you can do whatever. And Greg, you know, provide a little resistance, so he's kind of working.
How much resistance do you want?
So that's another one. Again, you can turn around and do a chest press with it as well. Again, it's hooked to Greg, the door. It's
the door.
Stable object.
The door just opened or
don't
something.
Let go, door.
Okay.
And this is a chest press. So maybe if you can't do push-ups, like it's hard for me to do a push-ups with a shoulder injury, so I can take the bands and do a chest press like this. And again, all you're doing is turning around, pressing the opposite way, turn around and do. And you can knock out a 20-minute workout and completely knock out your whole body. So you go to squats, you can go to push-ups, take the band, use your back. Again, then you can go to a shoulder press like we demonstrated before. This is a great exercise just to strengthen the core. And Jake, you feel how hard that's working on your core just right there.
Core.
What you want to do is go through maybe 3 sets of 20 to 30, depending on how good a shape your abs are in.
Is that how many you do a day?
Usually 3 or 4.
Okay, show us your abs. What is he? Well, actually,
What's up?
oh, I thought, were you going to continue demonstrating anything there?
We're going to demonstrate a little more difficult exercise.
Okay.
So we're going to do something called the jackknife. Do you want to say something?
Well, we're running out of time here, but you want to, no.
Yeah, we're going to do the jackknife real quick, which is a great core exercise. It actually works the upper body as well as the core. So hop into position, please. So you want the ball to be right on your shins. And what Jake's going to do is
That's what I was waiting for the whole
I'm going to
time.
get choked as I'm doing this one. And he's going to...
This is my personal trainer, Mark Hunter, and Jake Scheuer today,
Thrust
telling you how you can
up
get in shape in 15
down.
minutes or less a day. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Mark, for being here. Jake, I'd shake your hand, but you have to do a one-arm push-up.